Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be sitting down with the CEO of Checkatrade. And together, we're going to be exploring how they are revolutionising the 59 billion UK home services industry. And my guest today, he's also one of Uber's early employees. And with him, he's going to be bringing a wealth of experience from his time scaling Uber's global marketplace. But most importantly, how he's applying those lessons to digitise what has historically been a very offline industry. Because Checkatrade is trusted by homeowners since 1998, and they're on a mission to make finding a trusted tradesperson as simple as ordering a pizza. So we'll discuss the unique challenges and opportunities that come with modernising a legacy industry, and discuss how Checkatrade has grown to facilitate nearly 3 million jobs annually and increased job volume by 45% over the last 3 years. And my guest will also share the next phase of growth and how it's focusing on creating a two-sided end-to-end marketplace, streamlining that entire process of hiring, paying and reviewing tradespeople. And we'll also discuss how the company is launching new innovations to drive its digital transformation. Are you or your business thinking of launching a podcast in 2025? Well, dreams are about to become a reality because I have 3 amazing options that will guarantee that you can make that happen. Option 1, you record and I handle the rest. All you need is 30 minutes to go and record an episode. I'll take care of editing, setting up the RSS feed and publishing it across all major podcasting platforms. For just $2,000, you can work alongside me. I'll have you up and running with a season of 12 polished episodes ready to go live. So if you or your business are interested in getting a podcast live and you want to work directly with me, visit my website, techblogwriter.co.uk, email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, send me a DM on any social platform such as LinkedIn, X or Instagram. I'm just at Neil C. Hughes on every single platform. Option 2, if you're looking for extended end-to-end support, well, I've partnered with AIpodcast.ing. They provide everything from website management to promotional material and help improving engagement. And you can also get 25% off your first month with the code Neil C. Hughes. And let them handle all the heavy lifting for you. But option 3, if you want to do it all yourself, Libsyn, the podcast host that I use for this show, they are offering up to 2 months of free hosting when you use the promo code TBW. For example, if you were to sign up on November the 1st, you can start 2025 strong and without paying anything till January the 1st, 2025. Whichever path you choose, I'm here to make sure that you start the new year with a podcast ready to take the world by storm. Let's do it together. What are you waiting for? But enough from me. Let's get my guest on the podcast now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, good morning, Neil. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Jambu Palaniappan. I'm the CEO of Checkatrade. Checkatrade's a British marketplace that helps connect consumers with trusted quality tradespeople across the country to get their home repairs and maintenance done.
And I think everyone in the UK, as you said that, they heard your jingle inside their head, and everyone outside the US, maybe you should go and check that out because it is an earworm all on its own. And one of the reasons I was excited to get you on the podcast today is you've spoken about digitising the 59 billion pounds, not even dollars, 59 billion pounds home services industry. So I've got to ask, how do you envision this transformation unfolding? And are there any key challenges that you're addressing during this process? Because every day I try and take a different industry and understand the impacts of technology on that. So what are you seeing here?
Yeah, so if I take a step back, our homes, whether we own them or we rent them, they're our most prized possession, right? They're an emotional part of our lives. They're part of our families. We have our most important and challenging moments in them. And so for us, the home is really the trusted foundation of, a family. And that's our ambition, to be the trusted foundation of every home. And for me, I think the interesting thing here is this is not about technology or digitization just for the sake of it, right? This is about what is the opportunity for technology to add value. And if you look at many industries and sectors over the last 20 years, we have seen how that digitization has taken place, whether it's how you book a holiday or how you buy a car or how you find a flat to live in. Home services and repairs and maintenance has been a bit slower. I think there are many reasons for that, and I'm happy to get into what those are. But it has been a bit slower. But I think our fundamental belief is, one, there is an opportunity for technology to add value for both consumers and for tradespeople, whether that's around understanding how to best get a job done, or what type of job is required, or how much a job should cost, but also for tradespeople in terms of how they manage their business, how they manage their workflow, how they get more time back from painful admin related to running their business. And I think those are all areas where technology can help. And I think my fundamental belief is it has been a little bit slower than other industries, but tomorrow will be more digitized than today.
And before you came on the podcast, I was doing a little research on you, and I noticed you've got experience at Uber as well. So I've got to ask, what lessons have you brought to Checkatrade in terms of scaling and digitizing a traditionally offline business? Because I would imagine there are a few synergies between Checkatrade and your time at Uber.
Yeah, I think fundamentally the principles that I've learned are, one, the technology really has to add value, right? It has to be valuable for your customers. And in this case, at Checkatrade, it's consumers who have jobs that they want to get done and use the Checkatrade platform, but also, just as importantly, for our trade members who use Checkatrade as a way to manage and grow their business, build their reputations, and think about how they want to grow. And I think my big lesson learned is, in order for the company to add value, it's got to add value to both constituencies, right? It's got to add value to both consumers and to trades. One of the areas, for example, we're investing a lot in at the moment for trade members is around software tools to help them manage their business. We've built a quoting and invoicing feature that allows trade members to send quotes and invoices directly through the Checkatrade platform and directly into our consumer mobile app. And we've seen the adoption of that and the net promoter scores of the trade members who use that to be really, really strong and compelling. And that is a departure from what Checkatrade has been historically, but the results are really strong. Likewise, for consumers, what we're seeing is that one of the areas that they've asked us the most to work through is there a unified place where they can manage all of their jobs or requests that they have versus having to manage it across multiple email or WhatsApp channels. So we took that feedback. We launched a consumer mobile app. We launched it in late June. And what we've seen is the uptake in terms of engagement, satisfaction from using that consumer mobile app really has been really positive. And I think it's just reflective of the role that technology can play in bringing value to both consumers and trades. And I think those are some, lessons that any business that's going through digitization, I think, can learn from.
Well, one of the things that stands out to me as being somewhat unique is your customers, and equally the tradespeople. They're not tech people by default, and far from it. So it needs to be so intuitive, like Uber. And Checkatrade has been trusted by homeowners here in the UK for decades. So how are you balancing that legacy of trust, making things easy and intuitive, with that need for digital innovation and modernization?
Yeah, trust is really the foundation, right? Without trust, we wouldn't be here. And trust is, I think, a really important part of our philosophy, our core values, and I think why we're a really trusted brand of our own right. So that trust really comes from two things. One is it comes from the process that a tradesperson has to go through to become a member of Checkatrade. That's a 12-step vetting process that includes checks for, if they have got CCJ judgments against them, if they've got the appropriate licensing, if they've got negative reviews on the internet. And there's a vetting process that we go through to help support that high quality standard. There's also a two-way feedback loop, right, with reviews that aggregate feedback and help consumers make decisions about who the right trade member is. And last year we rejected several thousand potential trade members who wanted to be members of Checkatrade because they didn't meet our standards. So that process of ensuring a really high bar of quality is really innate to who we are. I think for me, the second part is, how do we actually make technology helpful, right? How do we make technology helpful for tradespeople? I spent a lot of time with our customers. I was with one of our customers, the Rye Group, in Morden in Southwest London last week. Spent half a day with their team. And one of their big pieces of feedback to me was there is a lot of internal work they do around areas like how their CRM system, how they communicate with customers, actually interacts with the leads that come through Checkatrade. And is there something we can do to actually help tie that together more effectively and save them time and save their team some frustration? They told me that they spend a lot of time chasing payments, right? And we know that that's a painful and time-consuming process. In fact, their founder said to me, sometimes he just doesn't even chase the payment because the cost of chasing the payment is actually greater than what they get for the payment when you factor in the processing costs and the team time and the staff time. So there are areas, I think, where technology can help. And I think our view is, how does Checkatrade evolve to support our trade members from the last 25 years, where we've been really focused on helping them find leads to manage and grow their business, towards an end-to-end platform that can really support them across the ecosystem, right? And the feedback that I hear is there are areas where we can support there. And I think technology can add value, whether that's helping them find other trade members to help them with parts of the work that they do. This idea of how we can help them in terms of saving time with areas like collecting payments, and how we can help them manage their business more broadly than just leads.
And another thing that stands out is the home service market is massive, but only a small fraction operate online. So what is your approach to encouraging more tradespeople and homeowners to fully embrace these digital platforms?
Yeah, I think there is an opportunity for technology to create value in a way that I think the offline equivalents will just be less effective at, right? So in a world where you have an emergency job, what if you could find a trade who is available right now, right? Versus having to go through a process of waiting for somebody to call you back and a call center and the whole cycle that it takes. What if you could know ideally what a job should cost? Because there's relevant points in your neighborhood or from similar jobs across the country that can give you an indication of what relative cost range should be. What if we could help you find a preferred list of trades that that work in your neighborhood, right? And to have experience with the pitched roof that you have at your home. So I think there's an opportunity to use technology to help make decision-making easier, to help save time, to help tradespeople save time in terms of how they run their business, and to add value there. I think the other thing I would just say is we also know there's an acute trade shortage, right, in Britain and generally around the world. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But I think a huge part of my job and our focus is how can we help create the next generation of tradespeople? Because these are great jobs, right? You have the opportunity to run your own business, to manage your own workflow. They pay very well. And you have the ability to use platforms like Checkatrade to really help grow. We partner now with over 500 schools across Britain to help tell that story. There's a massive opportunity for those that are interested in building and running their own businesses in the trades.
100% with you on that. And for my research on you, I know you've mentioned plans for Checkatrade to become a two-sided end-to-end marketplace. So how do you see this shift streamlining the experience, not just for tradespeople, but tradespeople and their customers too?
Yeah. If you think about how this sector has evolved over the last 25 years, there's been a major focus around how we help consumers find the right tradesperson, right? And that's really been our focus for the last 25 years. But we know that there's a lot more that goes into the journey that consumers have when they're deciding what to do or how to do it. How do they get inspiration for what work they actually want done in their house? How do you know what tap you'd like? Once you've found the right tradesperson, how do you find out about availability, about scheduling? Once you've got a quote or invoice, how is that presented to you? Does it include the materials that you need, and how are those paid for? How do things like deposits work? And when deposits for materials are needed, what happens as a job is being done in terms of management and understanding of, if it's a complex and long job, how it's progressing? How do you make sure that the feedback you're able to give is really robust? And what does that look like for both consumers and for tradespeople? And then once the job is done, sometimes people have questions about insurance products to help support the work that they have, or if it's a large value job, is an area like how can I get those jobs financed? And then after the fact, there's a maintenance schedule as well, right? I think we're all guilty of forgetting the right maintenance schedule for the right appliance, and a consequence of that happening later on at a much higher bill. So right now, we're only really operating in that search world, but actually there's a much broader ecosystem to operate in. And I think the standard and burden is on us to do it in a way that adds values, not just to consumers, but also just to our trade members as well.
So as you move into this next phase of growth, what are the new innovations that most excite you that will help you accelerate Checkatrade's digital transformation? I appreciate you might be locked down as to what you can share, but is there anything you can share about what you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, no, sure, of course. I'll try to avoid sharing the secrets, but I think for me, the thing that I'm most excited about right now is we've built a new consumer platform. We built it from scratch. I'm extremely proud of our team. Worked very, very hard I remember the meeting we had to greenlight it. It was on Christmas Eve last year. And we said, we're going to put this new consumer platform into the field for feedback by March, and we'll launch it in June. And they raced hard, met that deadline. I think an incredible example of perseverance and leadership from our product engineering and commercial teams. And what we've seen is that platform for consumers will create a lot more opportunity to add value in terms of that end-to-end experience that I talked about. And I think as we're able to get the consumers onto that platform, what it will allow us to do is enrich the information that comes through from consumers to our trade members. So for example, if you have an interest or inquiry into a job, that platform will allow you to attach a photo or video directly into the inquiry. And that photo or video will help the tradesperson get a sense of what the job is, what the make and manufacturer of the boiler is that may need servicing, an understanding of if there's damp in your house, what does it look like, how broad is it, what kind is it. And I think the idea is that will help our trade members decide if that job is right for them, but also if it's not, help consumers match to another tradesperson who can do that job, who's available sooner and in their area. So we've made really great progress there. I think the second area we've made really great progress on has been, how does the actual platform add value and benefits to trade members? So we've launched a new benefits portal for trade members that allows trade members to get aggregated discounts and vouchers for things like fuel cards or discounts from retailers where they buy materials. So there's real value to being a member of Checkatrade beyond the leads that they get on a day-to-day basis. And we know that benefits portal is one of the things that our trade members love the most. So the innovation's happening rapidly, and really excited about the potential of value that can add for consumers and trades.
And in terms of customer trust, Checkatrade has built this reputation by thoroughly vetting tradespeople. You gave some great examples earlier, and I know as a homeowner myself, when you're looking for someone to do a job, it is a minefield, and can I trust this person? Are they qualified to do it? So the whole platform works beautifully, but how are you maintaining that high standard while also scaling the platform digitally? I would imagine it is quite a balancing act.
I think the standard is really non-negotiable for us, right? The standard is what we need tradespeople to meet. There are a lot of quality tradespeople in Britain, and I think many of them really take pride in being members of Checkatrade. So the standard is high, and I think our view is, how do we help tradespeople who meet that standard grow their business, manage their reputation, and build even more successful opportunities for them? But it's also very clear, as I said, several thousand a year that we reject who apply and seek to be members. And economically, sure, that may be better for us in the short term, but it's also very clearly not the right thing in the long term. It's not the right thing for consumers. It's not the right thing for the trust that is so critical in this industry where there is an absence of trust.
So right now you have the very nice problem of having a booming home service market and rapid growth at Checkatrade. So what do you see as that next major milestone in your company's journey towards becoming that fully digitized marketplace, that vision that you've given us today?
I think it's we've got to continue to get the basics right? The core promises that we've made to consumers and trade members about matching their jobs and completing their jobs, which we know we do well today, but can do even better, I think is core. And I think we've got to maintain that focus. I think the second thing is for our trade members, keeping our promises in terms of doing what we say we will and delivering the value that we say we will, whether that's in the leads that they generate or the value that they get beyond that. And then I think the third is, what are the additional products that we know will make a difference to both consumers and trades, whether it's areas like how they pay and finance jobs, or how they think about peace of mind with insurance products that may be delivered through some of our partners, or whether it's for our trade members, how they get value in areas like materials or finding subcontractors. So I think for me, the area I'm really obsessed with is how can we add more value? And I think if we can do that, the business will do well. But I think the order of that is really important.
And I'm conscious we've been very forward thinking today, looking at the vision of the future for Checkatrade, for your customers, for tradespeople and everything in between. But of course, if I was to ask you to look back throughout your career, you've had a fantastic career, spent time at Uber, etc., and none of us are able to achieve any degree of success without a help along the way. So is there a particular person or people that you're grateful towards? Maybe they helped you get you where you are today, or maybe you just saw something in you, invested a little time. Who would that person be and why? It'd be great to give them a little shout out today.
Yeah, no, I'll give you two examples. So I think the first is a gentleman named Neil Loss. Neil was somebody I worked for in the past. And Neil's been a real inspiration to me. I think one of the things that I think we all need early in our careers is we need somebody to believe in us, even when in moments we don't believe in ourselves. And there were moments early in my career where the jobs I was in were really, significant. I felt like I was unqualified or underqualified to do them. And I think one of the things I'm very grateful to Neil for was he believed in me even in moments where I didn't quite believe in myself. And I'm very grateful to that. I think the other challenge that you can sometimes feel is you can sometimes feel like you're alone in terms of going through this specific challenge, the intensity of work that we all face. And I think there are two books, I've actually got them right here on my desk, that I really take comfort from. They're both written by Andy Grove, who is the founder and CEO of Intel and has an amazing story. And one is called Only the Paranoid Survive, right? Which is about how to think about evolution and how businesses evolve and grow, particularly in the dynamic sort of technology sector. And the second is a book about leadership called High Output Management. And I think I've learned a lot about how to think about myself as a leader and how to think about the culture of businesses that we build from those. He's unfortunately passed away. So won't get a chance to meet him, but I take a lot of comfort in those books. I think what's amazing is one of those, I think the books are 40 years old, right? Yeah. But they're still hyper relevant today.
Awesome. Well, a big shout out to Neil. I think it's so important that people like Neil get to hear these messages, because he was probably blissfully unaware on the impact that he's had, not just on your life, but your entire career. And it really does go a long way. So, Neil, I hope you get to hear this. And I'll also add the two books you mentioned to our Amazon wish list, so other listeners can check those books out. We can carry this knowledge on. But for anyone listening, just wanting to find out more information about Checkatrade, connect with you or your team, or just find out more information about anything we discussed today, is there any way you'd like to point everyone listening?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. You can drop me an email as well. It's just jambu@checkatrade.com. Any feedback, always welcome as well about what we can do better. So always eager to hear it.
Fantastic. Well, I love what you're doing here, how you're using technology and how you're helping not just customers, but the tradespeople as well. It is a fantastic work, what you're doing. I remember what life was like before Checkatrade back in 1998, and it was a slightly murky world, shall we say. So thank you for the work that you're doing and how you're leveraging technology, and more than anything for taking the time to sit down with me and share your story today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Neil. Thanks for having me.
So as we wrap up the conversation today, I think it's clear that digitising this £59 billion home service industry in the UK is not just about convenience. It's about building trust, efficiency and transparency in a market that has long relied on word of mouth. I think my guest's experience at Uber has played a pivotal role in shaping Checkatrade's vision and indeed the company's ambitious plans to create an end-to-end marketplace. But what can businesses in other traditionally offline industries learn from Checkatrade's journey? And how might this shift impact the way we all approach home maintenance and repairs in the future? Don't forget to subscribe. We have a different conversation with tech leaders and business leaders every single day here, who all share their unique story of how they're changing the way we live and work through innovation and leveraging technology. But that's it for today. So thank you for listening as always. And I will be back waiting for you with another guest when you open your eyes tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll speak with you all then.